the best looking team coming into this from North America against the best of Europe.
Yeah, this is going to be a fantastic match to start things off with. And to be honest, we're spoiled with the matches here in day number 1. Let's take a look at the series layout because this is an interesting one. We don't always talk about how the game types have such a history like they do between these two teams. You heard a little bit on the desk about a few of these. The first one we'll talk about is King of the Hill on Streets.
Yeah, look back at Optic Gaming at the NA Super, right? This is the map where they won it in that last gasp kind of craziness where they managed to take home that final. That bottom middle hill is one that will live in the memory of a lot of Halo fans for quite some time. But if you look at the other side of the stage and you look at Acend and you take yourselves back just a few days to the E-United Grunt Classic, these guys didn't lose a King of the Hill. That is some statement.
I mean, that is a great way to tee up this game number 1. The fact that we have an undefeated team up against a team that just won their most recent championship in HCS play on this exact map and game type. King of the Hill on Street is going to be an absolute bloodbath, and to be honest, it's such a great game type to start this tournament off with. It's going to be back and forth. Each point is going to have to be worked for and worked with as we see tug of war between these two squads. But if we look at the demeanor on the Optic side of the stage, you see they are locked in right now. Only about a few minutes ago, you saw them laughing, all smiles across the board. But let's not forget, they know who they're going up against, and the tables have turned. The story has changed for Europe. 10 years ago, these matches were not taken as seriously, but now the top teams in Europe, Acend, your most notable one, they have earned the respect of the top North American teams.
Without doubt, this is not a game that Optic will be looking at lightly, and of course, there is that overriding story for this event, right? Can Optic get that big win here in the live environment? Are they able to do it? Well, we're about to start things off, everybody. The crowd is already hot here in Orlando. It's our first game of the day here in Pool A. It's Optic versus Acend, and map 1 is King of the Hill Streets.
Cannot wait to get into this. The appetite for competitive Halo may have never been higher here in Halo Infinite as we jump into this one. Going to be starting things off. Once again, King of the Hill first to capture 4 hills will win in this game type, and map number 1 is going to be Streets as we get ready to jump into the gameplay right now.
Well, already you can see the action has started here in Orlando. I've got the biggest of smiles on my face because this is one of my favorite things to do in the world. Cast some good Halo. And off the break here, you can see a couple of players already falling for Optic. But for Acend, this is the big match for them as well. They want to see how they stack up against the best teams in the world. They've kind of put themselves in a position now in the kind of overall environment of Halo where, like you said, that respect has been earned and nobody is overlooking.
And here's the big question for Acend, right? Can they reach and accomplish the biggest and best tournament for a European team? Of course, the highest so far. Respectful was part of that roster. We'll see if they can even best the best performance of an European squad here as we take a look at the first few points on the board just being inched for Optic.
It's a little bit scrappy at the start, as you would imagine. This top middle hill is everybody's point of focus. We see a little bit of APG on our screens for now. APG, I want to take a little bit of a second as we see a little bit of early time on the board. Not really being shared by either team at the moment. The battle kind of continuing. But APG, what a player he has been in recent weeks for Optic. He seems to have found a new level where, for me, he's the heart and soul of this team. Everyone plays off his damage. Everyone plays off of APG.
And what's incredible about APG, it feels like no matter how much we talk about APG, you're still not doing it justice about what this man can bring to the game type. Formal's going to pick up a few, and that will lead finally to a few more points on the board, but quite a scrap in between these two squads to start things off with. Formal does the dirty work, flies into Red Room, and makes sure to clear out that area. APG now, just with a cheeky little corner around here in Red Room as well. Gonna make quick work of Respectful. I would have looked away too there on the melee, but he'll pick up the kill in the end.
Yeah, just had to give him a little tickle under the armpits to make sure that he did go down here, but early on you can see Optic about a third of the way now to getting that first hill on the board. Acend haven't really dipped a toe into it as yet. It's been complete Optic dominance.
Wow, Sica there with a big win in tires. Not every day you see a battle lost like that from any of the players on Optic Gaming. Nice little extra shots coming in from Sica. His work right now is to make sure he locks down bottom middle, does the damage, and he will get rockets as well.
Yeah, it's an opportunity now for Acend. However, one rocket is going to be burnt. APG doing what he does. It's the intangible things from APG being laying out 2 rockets, 0 for 2 for Sica, and that's going to be more time here potentially for Optic.
What a little back and forth between those two players. Sica wins that first battle at tires, and then APG gets the last laugh. Like you said, to bait out 2 rockets like that, a huge play that will never show up on the scoreboard. That's what APG is all about. The dirty work, the plays that win the games that might not show up on your post-game stats.
I mentioned how Acend hadn't dipped a toe into the pool yet, so to speak. Well, now they have the opportunity to do so. Sica just taking his time, biding just a few seconds as those spike grenades came in before stepping back into that hill. The Bulldog is starting to bark, and it's starting to bite as well as he picks up a couple of kills here, but 2 for 2 across the map. We're still going to see that fight going down in and around this street hill.
Yeah, big timing here and drawn out hill on this first hill. You can tell just how hard these two teams are working for this. Acend finally going to get a few points on the board, but not before a few minutes of play. 2 dead for Optic Gaming at the moment. Make it 3 dead.
Make it 3 dead, and this is the first time we've really seen Acend set up around this hill. You can see the Optic are trying to fight towards the hill, not up on that street, and that means that Acend can lock things down. They're now about to go into a slender lead here on this top hill, and if you needed an example of how good this Acend roster is, this comeback is showing it.
That is. Optic Gaming strong off the respawn, though. They get 2 dead, make that 3 dead right away. They answer back in a very strong way. They're going to look to close this one out because this has been a little bit too close for comfort.
Probably 1 or 2 pushes left. The important thing here for both Optic and, of course, wow, okay, TriPPPeY, and Optic Gaming and Acend is that rocket launcher is coming up as well. So if they can get inside that hill, kind of delay things here, Acend, maybe they can get a power weapon, but my word, this Stalker in the hands of TriPPPeY is looking something a little bit special.
Great work from TriPPPeY. We'll have a lot of time to talk about him over the course of the weekend, presumably, but this man has been on a mission for excellence, and he has gotten better and better over the course of the season as we head now to the home stretch here. Optic down still by just a few points to Acend.
Oh, and Lqgend wins the big 1v1 as well. Lucid. A lot of people talk about him being the best in the game at the moment. Well, this is Lqgend on your screen. He's got something to say about it. Acend have control. PD spawns for Optic. Acend get that first point.
Wow, like you said, there was only 1 or 2 more pushes left, and perfect timing on the kills against Optic Gaming. They're the first to strike, and Optic Gaming might be your tournament's favorites here, but Acend is here to remind everyone that they are not only the best in Europe, but among the best in the world.
Now we move towards the tram, though. This is a hill where you can lock things down a little bit more comfortably. If you get that set up, you have the walls, you have the elevation, you have everything. Where the other team is kind of fighting towards that hill, and you have some great lines of sight. Acend find themselves 2 dead. This is a good response from Optic.
If you were hoping for a spicy start to the day, you picked a great time to join us here in Orlando, or joining from all around the world as well. We got to point out the man on your screen top right. Snipedrone is 14-8 in this game so far, putting up a show against Optic Gaming.
Snipedrone is just finding that level of comfort now where he is confident fighting anyone in the world. It's showing as Optic find themselves 2 or 3 dead. He's 16-8 at the moment. He's looking for his 17s, but it looks like Acend have managed to break this Optic hold on the hill. Now they can turn things back over, but there's Formal to take down Snipedrone, giving a little bit of an entry opportunity here for Optic.
I think Optic actually just baited out as well. I cannot wait to watch that back, because they actually dip out a hill there to reset from bottom mid angles. Of course, you're going to have to watch for rockets coming up as well, but right now they're looking very strong on hill number 2.
Yeah, this could be it. If they hold off this next push from Acend, this should be 1-1, and Optic will be able to tie things up. However, the next 2 hills, Andy, in my opinion, the most 2 vital ones, the Statue Hill and, of course, the Cafe. You lock down one, you can transition so quickly to the next.
Absolutely, 2 dead here for Optic Gaming. Acend says not so fast here on hill number 2. They want to still put up a rally if they can. Snipedrone is continuing here, 18-9 now.
Big kill.
Lqgend does not get away with the rockets, though.
It is a big kill, but you can see that both teams are being baited by these rockets. They're desperate to get their hands on them. APG is the player who manages to. He finds one, he now busts into the front of Tram, and now you can see he's trying to lock down that last bit of time.
APG knows these kills are so important. Look how close this is in hill number 2. This is either going to go 1-1 or 2-0 Acend. Optic know they need this hill.
APG inside. Last challenge is going to come in, and a kill comes in from Sica as well. Acend are inside of this hill. However, they have lost 2 players. Sica loses the battle. It's 2 for 2 on the map here.
2 for 2 here. Only Lqgend alive. Lucid will get taken down. This should be an Optic hill. Only 1 moment away. Yes, Optic Gaming will tie the game at 1-1.
Optic do get that point on the board. It's 1-1, but my word, did they have to fight. They had to scrap for that hill to get that point on the board. But Acend set up now for this next hill. I want to take an opportunity now to actually jump into an Astro, listening with Acend. It's been a great start for them. Let's see how they play on this Statue Hill.
Sweet, Lucid. They're going to push me PD, mate. Oh, weak purple shot.
One shot PD.
Nice. Catch with shotty.
Two again. I'm with you, B, mate.
Yo, cafe wheat energy. Nice as well.
Spiking you, mate. Spiking you, yeah. Two tyres. I got one. There's another guy tyres. Tyres a hill. Tyres a hill.
No, that's good.
Well, as you can see, the communication here on Acend, it's very simple.
Yeah.
It's very kind of to the point. There's not too much fluff around what they're trying to say.
Yeah, and a lot of other teams, you might think, oh man, they're not hearing a lot from their comms. Not sure if that's going to bode well for them. But when you look at a team like Acend, you hear the call-outs, right? There's one guy tires, there's one guy hill. That's all the information they need. They're such a tight unit that they can make plays off of that. However, Optic Gaming leading in the third hill as well.
Something we have to keep an eye on here is the game clock as well. Look at the game clock. Lucid's going to pick up a rocket, not get anything for it. But there's only 53 seconds left in this game. And this next hill could potentially, maybe even be the winning hill.
Yeah.
This is really showing how tightly contested this is. And at the moment, it's Acend who are inside of the hill. Optic find themselves 2 down and respectful. Looking to challenge bottom middle and get a kill. It's just a trade though.
Trade though, 2 dead for Acend, and it really came down to the timing of that first hill. I think everyone watching knew that that first hill took so long that it was going to have a huge impact later in the game.
Optic have been practicing for these moments though. You heard from Lucid in the E United Grunt Classic when they won it. He said, we've been practicing for these close moments in end games, and Optic and Formal played that situation perfectly. Formal just stayed alive, didn't get baited into the fast pace, the franticness of this moment, and now you can see what's happening. Optic, full control of this hill. Respectful's flying in. A little bit of help coming mid-map, and Acend look like they've broken, but it's 2 for 2, still alive on the map.
2v2 here. Look at Formal just anchoring PD so well. Does not want to let anyone through. He's holding down PD. He needs to stay alive here. They're going to try to flush him out.
Bulldog in his hands. He might be able to turn one, but no. Lqgend again. The second massive 1v1 won by the Frenchman.
Amazing play there from Acend. Formal knew he had to stay alive in PD. Acend knew that they had to collapse on him, and they do. Can they stay alive here? 11 seconds left on the game clock.
Oh, Lqgend! Double for him. Is that going to be enough, though? He might be able to turn 3. He cleans up another one, and Optic find themselves 4 dead. Acend inside of the hill, but the game clock at 5 seconds. They have to stay inside. The drop ball might be everything here.
Keep in mind here, great drop ball usage, keeping Lqgend alive, but not enough here. One will fall. 2 seconds left on the game clock. We could be going to OT here unless Optic steps in.
Optic have stepped in. However, Acend in the last second are inside the hill as well. Sica last alive. It looks like Optic might be able to turn this over.
OT.
We go into overtime. And Optic win it on the Statue Hill. But my word, that was 2 heavyweights just slogging it out in our first game.
My God, and that's an even better game 1 than I think we could have hoped for between these 2 teams. We knew it was going to be close, but for that game to end 2-1 on the Statue Hill, whew, that's one of the closest King of the Hill matchups we've seen in the HCS so far.
Well, if you needed something to whet the appetite, there it is, everybody. First game of the day. Optic take home the win. But if you needed any kind of reinforcement about how good Acend are, that performance has just shown you. King of the Hill, a game type they hadn't lost in that E United Grunt Classic. Yes, they lose here, but against arguably the favorite coming into this event, that's a hell of a performance.
It is. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from that game number 1. And what a game one it was. What a way to start this series and this tournament here in Orlando. Back and forth between these 2 squads, and an absolute bloodbath on that first hill to give Acend the lead, and it had big ramifications later on in the game with that hill ending so early at the Statue Hill.
It did, and there was 2 just massive 1v1s. We always talk about strategy, we talk about rotation, whatever you want to throw in front of you, right? Sometimes it comes down to a 1v1 gunfight. There was 2 in that game that Lqgend won that almost gave Acend the ascendancy, to use a terrible pun here, but it was very, very close. That's all you can say about it. 2-1 in overtime, and now we move on to map number 2.
Great game management there once again in the end from Optic Gaming. Let's not forget on KotH Streets, it was incredible game management in overtime that also won them the NA Super on that exact game type. And it goes back to what you said earlier, Mark, the fact that Lucid said we are working on late game scenarios. We know this is a little bit of our kryptonite so far in the season. We're going to work on clutching up when it really matters, and they do it yet again in game number 1.
Now, this is something I want to talk about a little bit, and that is the importance of Slayers in these best of 5s, right? We're going to have best of 5s through the bracket until we get a little bit later on, of course, and you're going to have 2 Slayer game types in every single one of those. Now, with the amount of games and the amount of maps and modes that we have in Halo Infinite, you're not seeing teams really dedicate a huge amount of time to Slayers in comparison to some of the objective game types. Otherwise, they're going to be playing for 7-8 hours every single scrim. But Optic didn't look great in their Slayers at the Grunt Classic. I wonder if that's something they've gone away and looked at, because statistically it was their weakest game type out of them all.
Yeah, interesting to see from Optic. And of course, let's not forget, there's 2 Slayers in every single series that they're going to play here minimum, especially if they get to the grand final. So we're going to keep a very close eye on their Slayer game types. On the other end, you and I were talking about Acend's playstyle. I think we need to watch Acend's pacing here. They need to make sure that they don't allow themselves to get 3-4 dead.
Yeah, 100%. I think Acend are one of these teams who love objective game types because they know that a couple of deaths here or there to create an opportunity for someone else to turn it into 2 or 3 kills isn't the worst thing in the world. In Slayer, they just need to be careful of those deaths. Slow the game down when they know they don't have control of that shock rifle. I think the shock rifle now in Halo Infinite at this stage of the life cycle of the game is now not just a control, it's a fact of everyone is hitting the shots, right? So you need to make that kill as hard as physically possible. You have to get control of it. If you're going to lose it and you're around blue, get it off the map as well.
Speaking of the shock rifle there, and speaking of hot hands, you got hand warmers in the hands, I think, of all 4 Optic Gaming players. They want the shock.
It's pretty warm in here.
In their hands, they're ready to go. Maybe a little bit of a redemption story here for Formal. Let's not forget, of course, now an iconic clip here of what we saw happen between Optic Gaming and Sentinels. Formal's going to want to get that shock rifle in his hand and prove everyone wrong.
Well, here we go then. Game number 2 is alive. And what a start that is from Lucid. A double kill for him, but Acend do manage to get 3 dead. So he's last alive. That's going to be a clean wipe of all players off the map. Snipedrone picks up the camo to start with a great start here for Acend.
Very good start here. Can Snipedrone? Oh, no, he cannot. He gets a grenade to the jaw. Great pre-nade there. I think it came from Formal as he's just going to nade the boxes coming up to control, make sure the camo can't get away. That will even things up a bit here. Ooh, good shots in the end coming out of Sica once again.
Great shots coming in from Sica once again. You out-BR Formal, you know you've worked for it. As we do see the game tied up very, very early on here. TriPPPeY will just give a little bit of a gap here in the hands of Optic Gaming by picking up that beat down, but now you're seeing the game kind of split across the map, right? You're seeing the setup around the elevator and gold coming in from Optic. Blue and tower looking to be controlled by Acend. You're seeing shots firing and being exchanged across the map, but nobody really getting the better of the other. Optic with a slender lead.
Can we talk about Lucid peak shotting like that? There's 2 players on C-Plat, and neither of them want to challenge him. He just, great timing there with those peak shots coming in from that ledge, and he will get the shock in hand as well.
Now, these are the moments we're talking about, right? The shock rifle has become a complete and utter game changer. It is now almost expected that players are going to hit these headshots and be able to pick things off. Now, if Optic can find one from the hands of Lucid, my question is, do they try and push it? Do they try and use those numbers to flood onto Acend and turn it into a bigger lead, or are they happy just to pick away now they have already established a small lead in this game?
Also with a grapple here, Lucid has some options, right? He can get himself into a little bit of risky territory and grapple out if he needs to. Maybe just a few inches away from the headshot there. He will retreat, go to help at bottom door as well.
Camo going to be coming up as well, so Lucid has 2 grapples left. He may be thinking about that as well. However, look at this push coming in now from Acend. TriPPPeY finds himself as last alive, and that is going to surely secure the camo here. The second of the game goes to Acend.
Oh, Lqgend gets a little bit greedy, maybe tries to stay alive, but he does put down the cover fire for camo, which was really the job there. Respectful needs to be careful, gives himself away. Will trade in the end with the stick, and the game will stay within 1.
Snipedrone just trying to survive for now. 2 players almost lined up in front of him there. That would have been quite some clip. The remote detonation being attempted here by APG, but look at the pace of this game. This is how Acend want it. They want it scrappy, they want it fast, and now you can see them tying the game up and actually going into a slender lead.
It's a great call out by you, Mark. Acend knows they need to watch their pacing, and they are just flooding in elevator as soon as they get a gap. And like you say, it has now resulted in a 2-kill lead.
Optic trying to match him at the moment. Sica still manages to get 1 in that situation, even though you can see he was kind of under the effects of that repulsor against the wall, but 17-17 now. It's all tied up once more. Acend, once again, into a slender lead.
Easy to get into that under the effect of Lucid, I should say. Every time I see him in the hallway, his hair looks better and better.
It's glorious.
Score 18-18 now. These 2 teams tied up, and Snipedrone with a pop-off game number 1. We're not seeing huge numbers from him in this game number 2. Leading the game right now, unsurprisingly, Lucid himself 8-4.
Now you're seeing the standoff again. Game completely changed pace once more. Shock rifle is in the hands of Optic. You can see a couple of shots coming in from the right-hand side of APG's POV that we're seeing right now. And it's going to be Lucid who's got it back in his hands. Now, last time, didn't manage to get too much done, but with that entry frag, with that grenade, he now grapples in, and this is the difference. They get the damage. Optic are pushing off the back of it.
This is calculated. 3 kills in a row for Optic Gaming. Make it 4. That is a full wipe. 22-19, and it feels like Optic Gaming is always just moments away from striking and putting together surgical plays like that.
And that's the difference, right? They get that damage. This time, they decide, we've got the damage, let's go, boys. We've got that kill. They flood onto Acend, and they turn it into a 4-kill swing in this game. Lucid still has that shock rifle in his hand as well. Not quite connected in the way he wanted, but the help coming in from APG means that Optic now have a 4-kill advantage.
A lot of momentum here, a lot of steamrolling starting to develop for the Optic Gaming side. Like you said, the biggest advantage we've seen in this game so far, make it a 5-kill lead.
Still a lot of work to do for Lucid as well with his shock rifle. Plenty of ammo to play with. Acend starting to get picked off one by one though as he hits the body shot onto Lqgend. That's 2 dead for Acend once more. Optic are starting to rally here. They are up by 6, and the trades that were coming in for Acend, they're not happening now.
Lucid once again is 12-4. This man is putting up absurd numbers all season long. They look like matchmaking numbers in a lot of the games, to be honest.
Now you can see Lucid trying to lock down the pipes from that mid-bridge area. 6 kills still the difference between the two teams, and it has been the shock rifle control that's been the difference maker. Acend have had 2 camos in a row. They haven't been able to turn that into a swing in their favor. Now with the game slowing down once more, it's Lucid's POV who's going to be the man who can change the pace of it once more. I'll be interested to see if he can pick off one player from Acend here, if we'll see that flood once more, or Optic will be happier now they have somewhat more of a considerable lead in the game.
Yeah, and Optic loves this, right? 6-kill lead, Lucid with the shock. They can play this all day. He's got repulsors to play with as well. He's triple positive in the game, and they can sit here for 6.5 minutes if they need to. They will hold these angles. Lucid with a little bit of tap damage there. Not going to connect all the way, so he'll have to reset just a bit.
Interesting thing now is, what's the game plan for Acend, right? You know that Lucid's got that shock rifle. You know that you only have to peek. He's going to be able to create an opportunity. However, the cover fire's in. Now they've backed Lucid down. I wonder if Acend will try and make a move off the back of this. No ammo left in the shock now. That's a huge thing for Acend to actually just wear out that weapon. Lqgend gets the first kill now. Another player going to come in. He's going to go for a swim, but the trade there. As now you see Optic on the back foot, and that was 3 kills in quick succession. Well played from Acend. It's now a 4-kill game.
Very, very well played from Acend. Like you said, they're only going to really reduce 1 off of the deficit in total. However, make that 3 now as it's 25-28, and Acend answers back, and Sica will sneak away with a camo as well. 3 in a row. The camouflage is picked up now by Acend, and if they needed something to get back into the game, that's going to be it. However, elsewhere on the map, Optic have just wiped all of his teammates, and now Sica's found himself as the last player alive. He's just trying to survive and not get his position away, but Optic sniff him out, and Acend do not make use of that camo once more. What a great example of the way that Optic Gaming plays this game. They'll get 3 dead. They even find the camo player on their own. You heard those shots coming in on Sica. He was never safe. He will be taken down, make it 33-27. And moments ago, we thought maybe Acend is right back in this, and Optic Gaming answers back.
Well, Optic with a commanding lead at this point in the game. Acend have to start thinking we cannot trade. We need to get in positions where we have calculated pushes, where we get good damage, and then we're getting 3 for 1, 4 for 1, 4 for 0, whatever it might be in those exchanges. That's the only way they're going to find their way back into this game. Optic just need 15 now.
How about Formal at 12 assists? Double the assists of any opponent on the other side. Incredible numbers from him so far in this game.
Oh, Lucid, easy 1v1 with that time. Took the battle with Respectful and looked extremely confident in doing so. You have to say Respectful didn't look quite as confident in that one. A couple of missed shots coming in from him. But eyes on that shock rifle as well. Player taken down on batteries, and it looks like at the moment Acend are just starting to fall apart a little bit here in game 2.
Optic Gaming's composure is on display here. Amazing stuff from them after a pretty challenging game number 1 that came down to the wire, to say the very least. They have looked so strong here in the late game in game number 2. They're now up 40-28.
Now it's a case of not the game being close, but is it going to be a steak dinner? It's only a couple of kills needed, but Lucid with that grapple is going to snag that shock rifle back into the hands of Optic Gaming. Hits a body shot on 1 to take him down. Another challenge coming in from Pipeline. I'm up, Lucid. Doesn't pull the trigger though.
Gets naded out in the end there. Snipedrone will take him down, but home stretch here, 41-31, 3:53 on the clock. This game isn't over. Acend would need to put together some incredible plays, though.
Certainly would. Sica needs to win that one. TriPPPeY can't make him pay with that shock rifle headshot. And another camouflage now goes into the hands of Acend. I've said it 3 times already. They're down. They needed something to get back in this game. Can they make one camo work?
There's a lot of time on the clock here. 3:30 left, and they're only down by 7. This is not impossible, but like we said, they would need to put together incredible pushes, and they're slowly starting to do it.
What is happening?
36-41 off the back of this camo play. Can Sica stay alive?
Last
No.
2 players down to 1 shot though up on the Attic. You can see Acend are desperately trying to convert them into kills, but the longer it takes, the more opportunity for spawners to come in and help those players out. The game has got closer. However, Optic still have that cushion.
Still a very good cushion. However, it's not going to secure the win just yet. 3 minutes left on the clock, and Optic Gaming will be watching that back and wondering, how did we just let our 10-kill lead disappear? They're going to slow the game down now, unsurprisingly.
Back to that standoff. Lucid, 19 and 10, by the way, in this game. Positive 9 for him, almost double positive. And a game 2 Slayer. Exactly what you want to see coming in from the man who has impressed so many so far this year. He's looking to pick up another one as well, but that Snipedrone, a little bit of help. Lqgend with a little bit of pole dancing, a little bit maybe early in Orlando for that, but certainly looking good while he's doing it.
Yeah, that pole dancing normally saved, especially by the European side, until Sunday evening, but a little bit of a preview there. Great peak shotting, though, in all seriousness, in that control pillar from Lqgend, answering back the peak shots that we saw earlier from Lucid, now making 45 to 46 to 40.
That was a super brave push coming in from Acend. They decided to try and flood through the pipes, but Optic were ready for it. Formal was ready for it, and there is the help coming in once more from a teammate. Acend now need 9, but Optic 2 kills away from being 2 up in the series.
And who else but Formal? 48 kills on the board. Oh, he needs 2 more, of course! He hits the first one. They only need 1 more to close out game number 2.
Fries that player. Sica pokes out as well, but it's 1 to go here. Optic, they managed to pick it up. APG with a 50th kill on Optic Gaming. They're up by 2 in the series. 1 more game to go for them to go 1 up in pool play.
It's a great start for Optic Gaming, and game 2 looking even more comfortable as they close that one out. And let's not forget, this game was close. We saw only about a 4 or 3 kill deficit at the mid-game. But Optic Gaming not interested in anything like that. 50-42 is your final score, and take a look at the stats in just a moment.
And I have to say, it was very interesting that game, wasn't it? Because you were looking at one team having complete and utter control of the shock rifle. On the other side of the thing, it was one team who managed to get complete control of the camo. And like I mentioned, the shock rifle is the difference maker here. There's one man to look at, though. I mean, Lucid, 20 kills, 12 deaths, huge amount of assists. Formal also with almost the perfect Slayer statistic as well. 9-9, but 14 assists to go alongside it.
And once again, he ends the game with double the assists of anyone on the other side. It's almost unfair. Those are crazy numbers. Taking a look at the damage as well. Lucid here, 4,500 on the board. And Formal, unsurprisingly, with those assist numbers, hits the 4,800 club.
Yeah, Lqgend and Sica put in a good amount of damage as well to try and drag Acend back into it, but it wasn't quite enough as we jump into some of the highlights here. And it was interesting to see how kind of Optic made a little bit of a change to their strategy. We saw when it was a standoff the first time, Andy, Lucid got a little bit of damage with that shock rifle, but they weren't happy to push on it. Second time around, Lucid flies in, picks up 1, and then Optic, that was the lead that they kind of managed to just keep in their hands all the way through that game.
And this is how Optic Gaming tears you apart. They're going to get that opening damage, and that gives them not only the advantage, but the confidence to just continually rack up kills. There's Formal hitting number 48, and off of that kill, that will give his team the ability to just flood into Needles and Whirlpool. They'll pick up that kill with ease, and they close it out. 50-42 was your final score there on Slayer Recharge. Up next, it's going to be Oddball on Livefire.
Such an interesting story as well. Dan kind of hit on it on the desk, right? Livefire, historically throughout Halo Infinite, we're like, basically call it Optic's home ground, right? They've won so many games, look so dominant when it comes to Livefire, but that story started to change a little bit, Andy.
It certainly did. I think, as Dan pointed out in the desk, the early days of Optic Gaming, we went on and on because it's so rare in a Halo title that a team is actually undefeated on a map. That's really nuts, the fact that they ran that long undefeated on Livefire. But my God, has the story ever changed in an interesting way? The fact that it was actually their weakest game type in the United Grunt Classic. And of course, Acend, also a very good oddball team as well. That tees us up for, once again, an interesting game number 3.
It does, for sure. My only question here is, even though you're a good oddball team, Acend, being down 2 in the series, it kind of maybe a knock on the confidence a little bit, right? They would have been looking forward to this series. They've been out in Orlando. They've been preparing. We saw them in the United Grunt Classic put up some impressive performances, but now that we find ourselves in a position where you're 2-0 down and you're coming into this thinking we want to win a tournament, and that's the mentality of Acend, How do you come back in a series here when you find yourselves down by 2 and Optic looking so strong?
Yeah, definitely a test for Acend as well, and the fact that they were so close in that game number 1, right? They need to get that out of their mind, because if 2 rounds of Slays go differently, this series could be tied 1-1.
Yeah, that's very, very true, and we'll have to see if Acend can bounce back now. But for Optic Gaming, they are looking good. They're 2-0 up in the series now. We head over to live fire for Oddball. Map number 3 is about to be live. And I don't know about you, Andy, but I fancy watching some Lucid POV.
I would love to see some Lucid POV. I don't know how he does it. It seems that each event he's putting up bigger and bigger numbers, and the entire side just looking stronger off the back of that. We're starting things off with Lucid.
Let's see what the opening strategy is here for both teams. You can see the Lucid looking to have responsibility for keeping Acend off of the sniper rifle. However, Lqgend again gives him the wiggles. And if you take it down Lucid after he's just top 20, that's going to boost that confidence we were talking about.
Also credit to Sica. Sica was off screen at scoreboard, also doing a little bit of damage as well there.
Another perfect coming in from Lqgend. I mentioned how I think this guy's the best player in Europe, and you can see from this individual skill exactly why that is. He's going to challenge again. Oh my god. Lqgend ain't missing right now.
3 dead for Optic Gaming, and this is teeing us up for a great start to our game number 3. We saw how good Acend can be in objective play in game number 1. Can they do it again here to try to get back into the series?
Drop the sniper rifle, Lqgend. Just keep the BR out, mate. You're not missing with that thing. Now you're going to see the overshield going over to Acend. A nice double kill. 3 players now fall for Optic, and the sniper in the hands of Respectful. 4 players fall for Optic here. More ball time for Acend. A perfect response from them.
Well, back-to-back 3 or 4 deaths for Acend against Optic. That will lead now to 16 points on the board and result in about 20 seconds here of play where we had great control from Optic, but it's a great push coming in from them on the dummy side as well. Formal wastes no time. He flies right into window. He's going to snag the sniper and the repulsor, and just like that, they rip apart the Acend setup. You can't let that happen.
Can't let that happen. A couple of shots hit, even if they're body shots with the sniper rifle, and we're looking at a very different situation. However, you've got to hit those shots, and Optic baited those shots out so well. Now you're going to see Formal. He's got the repulsor, but there's Snipedrone winning a 1v1. The ball's still in the hands of Optic. They've managed to rotate this to green.
Look at APG. APG is
I'm out of here.
Just running laps around the map. He's just rotating all the way around Acend. He's still holding the ball here in the corner. It's a great play ball. Look at APG. Optic Gaming takes the lead off of that.
And then he wins a 1v1 as well. APG doing what he does. Repulses back to bottom middle as well and stays alive and collects the Oddball again.
You cannot even count how many times that hasn't happened. I've never seen someone play the ball, win a 1v1, and then go get the ball again. This is APG, folks.
Incredible stuff coming in from APG, and now you're seeing Optic turn over that hot start from Acend and going into a lead. It's only around a 10-point lead, but the rotations we're seeing out of Optic Gaming, they are not just thinking, you know, they're not playing checkers here. They're playing chess at the moment.
This is the hangover meme. APG is running the calculations, and he is playing a different game from anyone on Acend. He's rotating the ball once again, makes a safety play ball if he needs to. 3 dead, so they're probably going to keep the ball on the map here.
Respectful last alive, just trying to survive. Just delete that from the VOD, that bit. Like, he was really good up until then, APG. Like,
I think that's APG.
Shows he's human.
I think that's APG being kind. You know, he's like, this is a little bit too easy. I'm going to jump off the map, and we'll reset things a bit here. Optic Gaming now leading 40-16. Acend yet to put a single point on the board after their opening run.
Lucid with the sniper rifle as well, just trying to survive for now. You can see that a couple of players have fallen on his team, so now it's just about hitting some nutty shots. That's what he does.
Lucid back on form here. See what he might be able to do. 2 dead for his side, doesn't matter. Right away hits the first. Oh my god, almost does it to him. The assist will come in on the board. 2 dead for each side.
It's almost like he's playing on mouse and keys sometimes when you watch Lucid snipe. Oh my god, APG's having a go now. Little brainer to the back of Respectful to take him down as he tried to escape with that Oddball towards tower. Now he's coming under pressure. There's a body shot. There should be a cleanup. A Snipedrone being such a difficult kill here, but there's the help from Optic again. It feels like if the battle, a 1v1 goes on for more than 3 or 4 seconds, there's always going to be that help around the corner.
And this objective game, really reminiscent of that game number 1. Not a lot of points on the board compared to time played so far. These 2 teams really preferring to have that control before they rack up the objective time.
APG got the overshield, but he's also getting flooded by Acend. He manages to take 2 with him down to the grave, which just kind of keeps the momentum on the side of Optic, keeps the numbers even as Snipedrone will move in now to pick up a couple of kills. That's going to be 3 dead here for Optic. This is the first opportunity since that opening break we've seen for Acend to get some ball time.
Little rotate here, 2 dead as you said. Scoreboard rotate. You see the spawns coming in. Good damage though, just forcing Snipedrone all the way into the window. And if they take him down, that would be unfortunate for the side of Acend, but a few more points on the board for them.
Snipedrone staying alive though, showing the value of just keeping yourself in the game instead of the dead screen for a few extra seconds. Manages to get the easy cleanup onto APG and now still has the ability to fight for that ball. The longer that Snipedrone survives, the more likely the help is to come in.
Wow.
Now Optic Gaming pretty much found themselves 4 dead. APG, the player we saw taken down by Snipedrone, he's the first spawner on the map. So now Acend have a chance here to maybe tie this game up.
Yeah, that's why we make such a big deal about that Snipedrone staying alive. The fact that he can actually just sit back, wait for his team to do the damage there off the back of that and continue racking up time just like that. Both teams just about tied here around the 45 mark.
Formal manages to get the hands out of Acend though, but look how close the game is now. It's just 7 points between the two. Formal doing more damage onto Respectful, who's just trying to play his life and escape for now. Overshield's going to be popping in around 30 seconds as well. That's why you're seeing the attention start to move to this side of the map, whereas that Oddball is kind of being a secondary objective for teams right now. Snipedrone though thinking, I might be able to bring this one out and get some ball time.
Looks both ways before crossing the street. He
Always got to do that, man.
He kind of tiptoes towards the pillar door. He's like, wait a minute. This looks it's too quiet. And just like that, it's a lead change here for Acend. They will now get to 51-49, but let's take a look at the game clock. Only 60 seconds, left to play as well. Big play on the sneaky jump from Snipedrone.
Wonderful jump up to top tower there, coming in from Snipedrone. Not an easy one to hit, especially in pressurized situations, but now Acend have to deal with APG. They gave up the overshield for the lead. APG gets one, still has a slither of overshield, but look at Acend. They're flooding onto him. They take him down and Optic lose 2.
And was 2 dead and a 3rd dead as well immediately. So one of those players is a spawner. Ball will reset. Everything to play for. 30 seconds left on the clock and only 2 points separating these two.
Big kill from Respectful bottom middle though. He managed to hold back Optic for a few seconds. And now the responsibility of Snipedrone is keep Optic off the ball. That's exactly what he does. A killing spree for him, a double kill as well. And now you can see with just 10 seconds or so left in this game, it's Slayer for Acend. Win this fight, win this round.
Oh my God, down to 9 seconds here. Everything to play for here in the final moments.
Formal gets one. He creates the opening for 2 of his teammates. A fallen Lqgend comes in as well. He brings the ball back, and I think he played it as well. And Acend will take round 1 of Oddball here. And I want to just, as we get into this second round, break down the decision-making coming in from Acend, because Andy, they gave up the overshield for the lead and they backed themselves to team fight that overshield play and win that fight, and that's what they did.
Yeah, we talked about the game management from Optic Gaming. In the end there in Oddball, it's Acend that managed the game perfectly, even that last second play ball just to make sure the time actually ticked down from Lqgend. And like we expected, Acend knows how to play these objective game types. They're not going down without a fight. They will take round number 1 of ball and they will stay alive.
Have the ball back into Garage as well. Now you're going to see the overshield coming up. It looks like TriPPPeY's going to be able to secure that one without really any pressure coming in from Acend. Have the ball back green. Sica's just trying to milk as much time as he can, and a very similar start to what we saw from that first round. Acend with a good opening strategy, a little bit of early ball time, but now all the goodies in the hands of Optic. You'd expect them to turn this lead over pretty quickly.
And they might also get a little bit frustrated from that result, right? It's a double kill for TriPPPeY. They didn't like the way that that round ended. They want to have a perfect tournament here, and I expect them to come back and bounce back in a big way.
A couple of trades went down while that ball was taken away towards dirt from Optic Gaming. It looks like they're trying to rotate towards green for a play ball as well. Respectful's on the hunt, manages to avoid that grenade and manages to get the kill, but immediately traded out by Optic Gaming. Formal with the commando in his hands as well. I'm interested to see how he's playing with that weapon, because that thing, I'm telling you, has become a little bit of a skill gap in this game. You get that commando in your hand and you can shred shields so quickly.
3 dead here. Lucid, last player alive, but to be honest, if you're on the side of Acend, Lucid is the last player that you want to be the last player alive, as people stay alive for his squad as long as he kept the cuts. But once again, it's good map management there from Acend. They will keep 2 dead.
French duo combining there to pick up 2 kills in quick succession. Lqgend and Sica starting to grow into this game a little bit more. You're looking at the stats, and both of them slightly negative, but making plays around that objective all the time. There's a double from Formal though, just to quell the flames once more.
Yeah, with 3 dead here, and Optic down for 1 round. Want to get into a listening here. Hear how the comm sound on the side of Optic Gaming.
Already on the west. We got it.
Let's go. Let's rotate green. You guys on mid. Rotate green. Rotate. Watch your desperate right now. One shot. Watch A plant maybe. Yeah, A plant. One shot, big absolute.
I hear that. He's on the way.
Nest on me?
No, Nest right now.
Come on, Nest.
Absolute Nest. And green. Green one shot. Got two there. He's there. Help in a second.
Absolute. Two guys, one shot green.
Nice go.
Low back green.
He's
well down.
there.
Absolute back green still. He's still back green.
I can help you right up here. Right behind you.
What's going up behind green still? Kill this ball guy.
Two.
Top center weak. Legend. One shot. Absolute event.
A pot on me. A pot.
Top center absolute. Dummy door absolute. Going cuts.
Key door. A pot.
Cuts is absolute.
Yeah, there's three in A. Make sure we're not splitting, guys.
Spawn with each other. Hear that? Once they play top mid.
Make sure you don't use that sign.
In the vent. Wait, half health in the vent, Joey. Dummy door also. And on the west. They're trying to push.
Pushing through.
Dummy door one shot.
Here. One shot.
One's cuts as well. Sica.
I'm looking cuts. I don't see him.
He went towards Skeeter. He went back up towards Skeeter.
Cuts on me. Absolute.
Key door. One shot cuts.
Absolute cuts. Absolute. Or window on you. Absolute window.
One shot window. Another guy on the west. Keep your shields, Brad.
Sniper was down there. We're done.
They have everything.
He's in window. He saw you. He's still window. They're rotating ball. Absolute.
Shot window.
One shot on a window.
Alright, I'm already next, guys.
I'm going river, Joe. I'm going river.
Top tower. I didn't mean to drop, dude. Top tower.
Yeah, top tower. Balls hurt. Respectful. Two guys on ball. Both weak. Try to put it. Another one on ball.
Yeah, play.
Keeter, one shot. Yeah, I'm getting ball.
Yo, listen, Obi guys, get to A. Get to A.
On your right tunnel. Or Keeter, one shot. Sniper, absolute. Keeter.
Nice. Yo, Joey,
Obi.
Just drop ball.
Let's get ready to get this.
I can get it. Drop and fight.
My die is going to be on your side. I did it. Oh, it's down, guys.
Looking at it. He's on part of it. Legend. One shot on Legend. Two guys there.
Well, as we jump back into the gameplay here, the listening from Optic, a couple of things to talk about there, Andy. For me, it seemed like the classic Optic communication, but one thing that was always kind of jumping out was like one shot. There was almost a bit of frustration because Acend are living so well in certain situations.
Living so well, and they will take the lead in round number 2 as well. Just a small one, 48-47, but I couldn't agree more, Mark. It's really a stark contrast from what we saw in the NA Super, where they were getting their 3 and their 4 dead so fast, but Acend are really getting away and being hard kills.
Also, they're winning a few 1v1s as well. You can see the Formal's lost one to Snipedrone down in that key door. We're seeing a 2-for-2 split on the map at the moment. But that's Formal winning a battle against Respectful. TriPPPeY now dropping the Oddball, but there is Lqgend and Sica once more to keep contesting here. You can see that Acend, they want to keep that ball as far away from Optic as they can. They need the kills to do so, though. APG moves down towards that objective now.
He knows he needs to play this very slowly. Be careful. Great nades on key door. Great help comes in as well. And this is the type of plays that APG can pull off here in the big moments. Less than 2 minutes left on the clock.
And that play allows his teammate to grab that ball. Lucid now rotates the ball away from the Acend spawners. This could be an opportunity here for 10-15 seconds for Optic Gaming, and that kind of a lead at this stage of the round is massive.
Huge. Acend had, as we said, just taken the lead moments ago, but this is a huge swing coming in from APG and the rest of Optic Gaming.
There was the opening damage, the opening kill. Repulsor away, but it's only going to delay the inevitable. TriPPPeY is last player alive here for Optic Gaming, but he manages to pick up one. Sica going to be challenging APG, who's just come off spawn as well. And while all of this is going down, Snipedrone's got that ball in his hand, and Acend, they're chomping away at that lead from Optic Gaming.
This is huge. This is down to the wire. What does Sica do here? Does he wait for the flank? Overshield popping up in 5 seconds. He's trying to play this angle. Presumably, there's a big push coming in for Optic Gaming for it.
Nade comes in from TriPPPeY. It's a massive 1v1 win from TriPPPeY. Not only because that opens up the overshield for APG, but it gives them the numbers as Acend go into the lead. It's deja vu here from the previous round.
Here it is. Snipedrone's not in play ball position yet. He gets the heroic toss off the map. He will play the ball from the pillar. It's an 8-kill lead here. 2 dead for Acend. APG with an immediate ball grab.
And Respectful's there again to try and deny this rotation away. The difference maker this time, multiple players from Optic.
Oh boy.
Get down bottom middle to help out the teammate, and Formal has Snipe, and Formal is bodying everything.
This is the recipe for success from Formal. Everything is lining up perfectly for Optic Gaming. Only 15 points to go.
Acend have one more push. 10 seconds, 10 points, all that is needed for Optic Gaming to send us to a final round here on Oddball, but there are those picks coming in, and Formal finds himself on his own. Acend have that ball in their hands.
Not over yet here. It looked like it was going to be done, but Formal for the killing spree. Hits the brain on the top, making a double kill. Will he get the trip here? Of course he does. It's a triple kill in the back of the tower from Formal.
The one-man army, Matthew Piper, when his team needed him, takes down 3 players from Acend. And that means we're heading to a round 3.
Oh my God, Formal goes 35 and 22. With a clutch triple kill in the late game to close out the round. He keeps Optic Gaming alive here in game number 3. We're going to a sudden death round number 3.
I mean, there's 2 ways to look at that, right? Heroic play from Formal, or Acend just not collapsing on that kill quick enough to win that round. Both teams with everything to play for in those final moments. Formal, the man to watch, though. He's got the oddball this time.
And we knew that Optic Gaming was going to bounce back after that first round. We knew they were going to be a little bit frustrated. How about Formal almost having double the kills of some of the players on Acend? That's not something you want to see on the scoreboard if you're on the purple side of the stage.
That's very true. Overshield, though. It's in the hands of one of the players dressed in purple. There's some great shots, perfect ones coming in from Respectful. Now he's on the hunt for more. Formal in the 1v1. The overshield, the difference maker, but not if your Formal manages to get the stick as he takes Respectful to the grave.
Lqgend last player alive here, but he will continue to rack up time. Good positioning here from the side. He knows he's going to need to start to rotate. He sees the spawn coming right away, so he's going to drop and try to do a little bit of slaying here in the back of house. Did not know that he was going to get flanked there from APG. That's a free kill for APG. Great route from him.
Yeah, I love the idea coming in from Lqgend. Unfortunately, just the timing a little bit off for him. If he's a second layer on that, maybe he catches APG off guard. But Acend with a 25-point run at the start of this game. It's Optic Gaming, though, who get the 3 or 4 dead for Acend, and now they have the setup of their own, just kind of holding this ball towards KotH as a lot of work being done over by Tower.
I gotta say, I did smash my tooth on the table when I was losing my mind over Formal's triple kill. I might need to see a medical professional after this series. However, no time for that, because we're in round number 3. 4 minutes left on the clock, and Formal's gonna start a little bit of a rotate as well. Trying to get off the C-flat, you can kind of tell the team was a little bit of a head on the swivel moment. They're not sure which way they wanted to rotate, but the kills do come in for them. 2 dead now. They will continue scoring, and they will take the lead.
I'm concerned if you're smashing your face into tables and it's only the first game of pool day, what you're gonna look like by Sunday, to be honest with you.
Oh gosh, it's not gonna be good.
I mean, you're certainly not gonna look as good as Optic Gaming do at the moment with this setup. There's 35 points on the board and rising. 10 points the difference between the 2 teams as TriPPPeY has managed to get that OS as well.
Great points here. Oh, it's just going to continue when you have TriPPPeY with the heat wave. Make it a heat wave. Overshield in hand. Respectful is in trouble here. TriPPPeY just going to fly over the top. 3 dead yet again. Formal probably going to win a battle in the back of the base. Unsurprisingly, they will continue scoring. And just like that, they have double the score of Acend. That's about 30 unanswered points right there.
Got wall here for TriPPPeY as well as a slither of overshield, but there's the flank from Sica. A couple of missed shots this time means Sica can get that entry kill. Formal now once again with responsibility, maybe thinking about a play ball this time. Let a couple of kills go. Down across the map. Now the play ball comes in. He's got an assault rifle in his hand, but a couple of bullets to the back, and there's the repulsor. See ya!
And that is just the difference there in a veteran. Formal gets the extra few seconds because he sees where the players are on the map, and he still gets the repulsor trade as well, keeping 2 dead for Acend.
TriPPPeY now eyes on that sniper rifle, gets it in his hands as well. Now can he find some brains to feast upon with a couple of bullets here? APG picks up 1. Snipedrone should be cleaned up here by TriPPPeY. Respectful going to be challenging. The body shot comes in, and a lovely little quick scope coming in from TriPPPeY. Respectful again, somehow gets away with a double kill there.
What a great play there from TriPPPeY. Like you said, surprisingly, Respectful's getting those angles. However, TriPPPeY making sure that he's also talked about, because this man has looked better and better as the season has gone on. Score check 71-25 with only 3 minutes left.
Yeah, really, really dominant score here for Optic Gaming in this round number 3. The difference between the 2 teams probably bigger than we've seen it the entire time that we've been here on Live Fire Oddball. The 25 points is all that is required, excuse me, for Optic to close this out. It looks like Acend is starting to show a little bit of desperation here, and TriPPPeY, he's on the hunt.
3 dead again. TriPPPeY just commanding the tower. We talk about Formal a lot. We talk about Lucid a lot when it comes to these snipe weapons. TriPPPeY showing that he can do it too, and not only that, but do it well. 15 points to go for Optic Gaming on the series.
Oh my God. TriPPPeY finds 1. Snipedrone, you're going to be toast as well. It's 2 for TriPPPeY.
Uh-oh.
Looking for that triple kill of anyone daring to challenge from back green. 3 players fall here for Acend, but on the other side of things, you can see Sica's got that overshield. So this is a crux moment, not just in the game. This could be the end of the series. If they deal with these final players coming in from Acend, then this could be Optic calling this a 3-0.
Good shots for Snipedrone. Going to keep things close here. 2 dead for just a moment from both sides. That'll be a double from Snipedrone as well, but still just like that, only 10 seconds to go for Optic, but it's a triple from Snipedrone. Does he dare challenge Lucid here? Instead, he's just going to scurry away, grab the ball, try to put points on the board. There's no room for error here for Acend. They would need 60 points almost unanswered to win the game.
Great little bit of professionalism there from Snipedrone as well. We've all been there, right? In matchmaking, you get the triple, you're thinking about the over. You had the opportunity to challenge, but against Lucid with no shields, that ain't gonna happen. So played it smartly, unfortunately. The smartness from Optic Gaming is on display once more as they pick up the kills they need. They're also picking up the final points they need to call this a 3-0 win in pool play. Optic Gaming close things out here on Live Fire Oddball, but what a series that was.
What a way to start the tournament. The stage decked out in green after our first series in the green wall. Happy to see that result. The question was, how's Optic gonna look in this first one? They look good. It's a 3-0 on paper, but they had to work for it.
And that's what we expected. Acend, like I say, no pushovers whatsoever, even by the best teams in the world. The result will say 3-0, of course. And Optic will be more than happy with that, but boy, did they have to work hard for it. Boy, did they have to be tested. And I think it's also a good indication of how good Optic are playing, but how tight Pool A is about to be. Still FaZe in this pool.
I mean, yeah, the fact that we still have to see both of these teams play against the new FaZe clan, it's going to be incredible. This pool is the pool of death, we've named it, and it's going to be a tough one for sure. I think this series was certainly evidence of that, even though, as we said, a 3-0 on the scoreboard. Let's take a look at some of the stats here. As we said, Formal will go 39-30 in the end. Take a look at the assist category as well. 19 assists. Formal, 21 for Trippy, 25 for Legend as well.
Play the game though, you have to give it a Formal, right? Formal, my word. I wanted to just take a second to actually break that play down a little bit more, because when you're in those pressurized situations, experience is such a massive thing, right? Being able to take that moment just to think, what is my priority kill? The first kill he picks up, takes down Snipedrone, turns his attention to the second. Every single step that he took in that play was calculated. Like you say, he knew who was most important to take down, and he did it systematically.
He absolutely did, and you had a feeling. Formal top tower with the snipe, and we're down to the wire in the last few seconds. He's gonna make plays like that happen. He absolutely did. He did it with style. There's your series layout. 3-0 for Optic Gaming, but as you can see, based off the objective results, it was not a walk in the park for them. They had to work for those, both of them ending at 2-1.